Well, gents, 2020, terrible year for life in general, but overall, great year for sneakers. Am I wrong? I think it was a good year. I think it definitely bettered from 2019. I don't know how you guys feel about that.
Yeah, definitely. This list was definitely harder to make than last year's, for sure. Not a good question.
That's my phone goes off.
I'll definitely agree with you. This year was a little like you had to think about it a little bit more. I feel like there was a little bit more versatility with the sneakers. You know, like I said, we had a discussion about New Balance already. A lot of the New Balance models were coming up. You know, they're kind of trying to match up with the whole Nike Sacai, thing that's going on right now. But in my opinion, I think it's definitely exciting. You know, we got some different things this year instead of just like hype. Right. I mean, we did have the things that were consistent, but there was a little bit some different flavors this year for sure.
Mm-hmm. You know, we saw the resurgence of dunks. You know, the dunks came back, and like you said, like just the variety. It wasn't just like Travis Scott's and Sacai's like the year before. Like you literally could name 5 or 6 different shoes. I mean, you could have picked any one of 5 dunks to be in the top, like 5 or the #1 shoe of the year. I think it's definitely arguable and stuff. So, and it's healthy for the culture just to have that variety and having different options out there, and seeing just people enjoying stuff because dunks were big in the 2000s, right? And that's what started sneaker culture. Jordans weren't big until later on in the decade, and so to see it kind of go full circle to what it used to be. It is definitely cool because once was old is now new again.
Yo, man, your Jordans are fucking off. Yeah, man. You know, drop me down, my brand new white Air Jordan. He looked at the good before he messed up. He did this shit on purpose, man. He was even talking about your mom.
I heard that shit too many
I just bought them, man. How much you pay for them? $100.
I got the ones, got the twos, got the threes. Guaranteed niggas ain't got nothing on me. Sitting on me, you better be cautious. Click so sick, it might leave your ass nauseous. Walk cautious, never step on my sneaks. Because you know I got the best in these streets. Being fly a necessity. Niggas on the block never tested me. Yo. Yeah, got those retros, petros, don't matter cause I'm in the metro, let's go. Ghetto, so fly, nigga already know why. I'm on the block, always gotta stay fly. Shit, you can look what I'm wearing. Every single carrot can't help from staring. That's right, no comparison. Ain't no comparing him. When you got those lucky lose, women be like, look at you. Look at you, being fly is good for you. Just move like you should move, like you should move. When you got those lucky lose, women be like, look at you. Man, look at you. Being fly is good for you, so move like you should move, like you should move. When you got those lucky lose, women be like, look at you. Look at you.
Without further ado, gents, let's get to it. I mean, number 10, which it was no question about this, Jordan 4 Fire Red. Now, let me tell you this, that voting poll, it was interesting to see what all was making, but I think the Jordan 4 Fire Red had the most overall votes out of any number.
Really?
So it was actually kind of shocking, but I understand. And, it's what can you do? It was a dope shoe. It was good to see it come back, and honestly, I think the quality of it, they did an immaculate job with it. What do you guys think?
I didn't like the quality of it personally. It's funny you said that. I was like, I was super into. I wanted to get a pair because I never had a clean pair. I always had beat up pairs before, but I feel like the red was a little. I don't know. To me, I don't know if I'm being picky, but the red looked a little off, and also the quality is kind of. It seemed like any other. Can I say mid? Like Jordan Mids that beats in that Foot Locker.
Nah,
type of that quality. So I wasn't, and there's a lot of pairs. So I mean, if you liked it, it was cool, it was easy to get. But I didn't like them that much. So
I was happy with them. The last pair I had was 2012, and with the Jumpman in the back, and to be able to have Nike Air come back, it's good to see Jordan retroing the classics with Nike Air, and I thought they would hit harder, but people like them. But I think we see it, like even with the Bread 4s, like people kind of chill on them for a little bit.
Yeah.
And even people are moving them and flipping them and selling them super quick for the cheap, so for the low, basically for retail. And that's going to be a $300-$400 shoe
Make
within
$20
a year.
off of it.
Oh yeah, it might just be patient, guys. It's truly a classic, Jordan 4, and for an older cat like me who was actually in like 5th grade when those shoes came out in '89, that's a special shoe. So you always got to come and have to have those OG shoes.
Classics.
In the top 10. You have to when they're retro. So
For sure. Definitely with the Fire Red 4s, I mean, now you can't really just walk in. Like, there was a certain period of time where you can just walk in and the Jordan retros were just sitting, like, at House of Hoops, Finish Line, you walk in, grab your size. Now it's kind of like, I think people wanted so many pairs of the shoes, and now it's like they're just all going after them and making their own inventory, selling them. But I mean, the quality of the shoe overall, I mean, I definitely think it was a little bit better than that hard plastic type of it just creases so easily. Leather is a little bit more softer. I feel like they could have did a little bit more deeper red. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
The shade of red made a little bit more deeper, but overall it's a definitely a great shoe.
Moving on to number 9, and I tell you, I was actually kind of shocked that this one won. It is the Saya Collective Vulture, the F Racism specifically, that I have personally myself. So I'm not sure if you guys are too familiar with it. I love that shoe. I mean, for a shoe that isn't a big name brand shoe, like Devlin Carter, the owner, like he definitely prides himself on making sure that anything he puts out is quality, and I think he did a phenomenal job with that shoe. But like I said, I was kind of shocked that it actually won in its number. Yeah, but overall, dope shoe. And I know you were saying you wanted to grab a pair in the future.
Yeah, I saw you had them, and then somebody actually came into my store with them on, and he was just like, these are the most, they look like Yeezy, they kind of look like Yeezy, it's like a Yeezy
Oh yeah,
vibe.
I actually call them the Yeezy Killer.
Yeah, because they look like I don't know, to me they look like a better Yeezy. Some of his colors are funky, so I hope he gets like the colorways down. He drops a lot of colorways though, like a lot. So, but I hope he drops like some like classic ones, that's gonna hold his time.
Yeah.
Because some of these ones, like the dude that wore this one in my store was like a lime green and
color
one, and I was like, I don't know about all that.
Yeah, they do go crazy with the colors.
And the quality, and you can like order extra laces, the thicker laces with them too. So it's a really good quality shoe.
Not mad at it in the 9th spot.
Right. Yeah, you guys know too much about them or not?
Yeah, I've actually seen the pair that you got. It's kind of like the color of your shirt, like a green.
Right.
Like a green.
I mean, it's 3M reflective, so and it's just like multicolored, so
Yeah, they
even
look,
the
they
laces
look a
as
little
well.
more like stable compared to like a 350. Because I mean,
Mm-hmm.
350s, they're cool, but I feel like you roll your ankle like pretty easily in that shoe. That's not a shoe you can like. You might be able to go to the gym and pull out, just depending on how you are, but I feel like that is kind of like a pretty versatile shoe. You can dress it up, dress it down, wear it to the gym, do whatever. So I feel like it's a pretty solid shoe.
Right.
you gotta respect someone doing it independently though, and making it all on his own. I remember when he first got started and kind of working all the way up to what he's done now. I mean, you gotta respect that, like to be able to do it without any major backing, without like a major like Nike or Adidas behind him, and to be successful and hey, black owned, like, you gotta respect it. So I definitely can see it being number 9 and have no debate on that.
Oh yeah. And I definitely agree with that.
I like the Yeezy Killer. It kind of is.
Oh, yeah.
Nice or easy.
Yeah.
And they don't sit on his side either.
Oh yeah.
Like,
They're as soon as he puts them up,
they're out of there. And it's not
How much
like,
is usually retail for?
like
two.
220.
220. He
Easy pricing.
Yeah, he was doing pre-orders, but they're probably gonna stop just because you get those newcomers or like
People complain.
yeah, just being impatient. I mean, to put it to you like this, I ordered mine like just right as George Floyd's death happened. Sadly, that's pretty much when he put them on the site, and I roughly didn't get them to about like I'd probably say September. So I mean that was a long way, but I tell you what, it was worth it. So
Definitely gonna change in the future though too.
Yeah.
Like once he gets, big time, start getting some more people supportive, stuff like that.
yeah.
That's gonna start. Those shoes are gonna start flying over there.
Yeah. Number 8, again, this is another one that pretty much blew every other shoe out of the water. Nike Dunk Habibi. To be honest, which I hope I said that right. To be honest, I wasn't a big fan of it. I mean, it's cool, but at the same time, it's like we've seen so many dunks that it's just like, I think I was just dunked out completely. So, I mean, I don't know how you guys feel.
It was my favorite dunk of the year, actually, when I really think about it. Like, I probably would put Chunky overall just for the impact. But the Habibi for personal, like, I just respect it. I like the concept behind it and its origins coming from the Middle East. And I kind of read the story behind it. There was like this dunk competition, like the Netherlands or something like that. And it was almost like the Sean Weatherspoon Air Max competition where people pitched their ideas to Nike SB and they kind of won. And to have someone coming from the Middle East and to be able to bring their idea to fruition is super dope. And it's just another one of those shoes, like, it's hard to get. Like, I think Howtown dropped them.
Yeah.
It's not a sneakers release. So I definitely want a pair. If anyone knows, I'll pay well for a personal. But I definitely respect, like the concept behind it.
I wasn't a huge fan just because I'm more about wearing it. Because at the end of the day, if I'm gonna pay resale for it, I want to wear it. So if I just know I would pick the J-Packs over the Habibis. I know that the Habibis have like the cool, that's like a Velcro tongue, right? We can change it out.
It has the double swoosh kind of with the skies, different laces, like it's cool, but definitely go with the J-Packs just because of nostalgia, because I have all the other J-Packs, like the Shadows, like all the other ones, Royals, Neon J-Packs, so I thought those were cool, but I don't know if it deserved to be on the top 10 list, me personally.
Number 7, this is another shoe that completely torched every other shoe. The Naomi Osaka Blazer.
I'll be completely honest, I've never even seen that shoe before. So I'm like, we can get a visual, like.
Oh, you didn't look at it when.
No, I've never seen that shoe.
Oh wow, yeah, because I posted pictures on the poll.
It was a good pull. I like
Not even just the fact that it's made by a woman, but also just the fact that it just looks so good. Like, Blazers, I've always said they don't get enough, like, people don't really get creative with Blazers. I think that's the best way to put it. I think Sakai so far has had one of the best ones. I think Serena's as well. But this Naomi Osaka one is definitely one of my top 3 favorite ones.
Yeah, I don't know. Kind of reminds me of like Foot Locker Blazers. I don't know, like, the Blazers where they always have like, that's hard to explain. They have like the little writing on the side. I don't know if you guys have been to Foot Locker recently, but they have these Blazers over there right now. They're like gray and white and they have kind of like a writing on the side. And it kind of reminds me of those. So I get it's a collab shoe, but I don't know. And plus, I haven't really heard of anything about it, to be honest with you guys, until talking to you guys about it. So.
Sue Bird, she actually had it on her list on Complex paneling.
Yeah, I saw that.
When I saw, actually, speaking on that, she actually had one of my favorite lists. I mean, minus the Dior one, which that will not be on the list. don't even try to say anything. Don't even. Yeah, but like, she even said it herself, it's a shoe that's definitely going to be slept on, so I'm really hoping that price dips like majorly just so I can get it.
So do you like the shoe for what it looks like? Does it have good quality?
I mean, just overall, like, I just like the shoe. I mean, I like just the premise behind it, just her being so dominant in her sport now. I mean, I'm not going to say she's the next Serena or Venus, but, she's getting up there at that point. So I definitely think it's a well-deserved shoe. And, you know, I hope to see more from her in the future. But overall, I just really love the shoe. Like, I just like the look of it.
Yeah, I never heard it. Like, I've heard of it on the Complex show.
Yeah.
And I heard, I seen a picture of it, but I was never like, I don't know, like, I get it, like, she's you know, like, it's good, like, it's a good thing, but it's just like, it seems just like a normal blazer to me.
Right.
I don't feel like they did anything, like, outstanding or to step forward, you know what I mean?
Right.
I kind of like I know the Sakai blazer kind of slept on, but I love how they did just the double tongue, the double lace.
I feel that.
Changed the whole look of the shoe.
Yeah.
Okay, I see what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
see, like,
Yeah, okay.
it's not for everyone.
Yeah, actually-
I will say that it is not.
That's
for
actually
everyone.
it's a pretty solid.
Yeah,
shoe.
yeah. Like,
I have a Converse, okay.
yeah.
But I know what you're talking about with the whole Foot Locker.
Yeah.
Oh,
The
yeah.
right and the Nike with the right.
You're just saying it doesn't do enough to distinguish itself from
Yeah,
everything
yeah.
else.
I mean, that's more so gonna be a if you know, you know.
I respect it. I just don't know that I feel like there's so many good shoes that came out this year that are just so like they're
Right,
just a step
overloads.
forward.
I mean, like we said at the beginning of this was such a tough year for this list that I mean, it's like, even though like we probably all hated on Complex, I mean, to a degree, I kind of understood where they were coming from because if you really dug like back all the way from the start of this year, this was a tough list to make. Like, I probably rearranged mine like 3 to 5 times.
Yeah.
Moving on though to number 6, it was the, oh, you're gonna love this, Air Max London, the City Pack. Like, I definitely
Wish I had
commend
it.
them on
It's at
that. Oh, you have it?
Look
I
at
have it.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Oh, I think I have seen you wear like.
We used to have it in the I haven't worn it yet.
Oh,
It's
really?
here. We've been.
Oh,
we had
right,
it for
I forgot it was
sale.
here.
It's,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
But I took it home. I was gonna just keep it for personal.
Yeah.
I thought
You
you
know-
were great.
Yes.
Yeah. It's got like the Thames River.
I like the other
on
one
it.
more.
The Amsterdam one?
Yeah, I like that one way more. That brown and that like salmon color one. Yeah, those are filthy. I don't know if I put it on top 10 for me personally, but like if you're gonna go based off of quality wise and like limitedness, like that should, both of them are fire. But
Mhm.
if I'm picking one to spend my money on, it's definitely that Amsterdam one.
I think both of those.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, overall, I like the entire pack. You know, I thought it was good. But, you know, it's like, we always say you can do better. For me, at least. But overall, though, I just like the simplicity of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything to add?
Like I said, another shoe to the list.
See?
And I have not seen. I'm gonna have to.
Well, it was a European exclusive.
Yeah.
They dropped
the
like.
images, but
It's
Yeah, I
more so
remember
you
they
saw
dropped
it,
in
you
the-
saw it, you
if you
could
know,
have
you know.
this.
If you don't,
Well, it's, you know, we had like a Air Max month, man, that just wasn't. Remember, it wasn't really a big Air Max month because COVID hit. I know we were all shutting down. And, like, it was just, we're feeling the impact. So I think we lost and forgot that shoe in the moment at the time. And I remember I saw it and I was like, sometimes you know, and I think Dylan was talking about this earlier, sometimes you know a shoe's about to jump or a shoe. I had that feeling, and I'm not comparing it to this shoe, but I remember it with the Mars Yard. I remember getting that like the first month they dropped. And you just know with some shoes, like if you get them early, you get them for a good price. And then you look back like later, like, man, you know, it was almost like the Amarillo Fear of God, you know, for one. Like I got that for like a super cheap price, nothing crazy, not for what they're going for now. And I feel like the Air Max London too, it has that potential, not just for resale, but that people or catch on, they sleep initially on some shoes, and then they look back like, man, like that's a dope shoe, and then market goes crazy and stuff. So I think that's one of those shoes, but I agree the Amsterdam is super dope too, but they're European exclusive, and like why don't they release them and do some dope stuff like that here? Why can't we have a Dallas Air Max one, or like a Phoenix or an LA? Like what is that? Like?
I mean, I'd probably say the closest thing we got to with like having like exclusive releases is probably when Kyrie does his packs. You know how we got like the Houston, the LA, but I mean, of course, nobody's really looking at those. So,
Yeah.
you know, it is what it is. Number 5, it, without a doubt, was the Joe Freshgoods New Balance. I mean, like we talked about, New Balance definitely stepped up this year.
Sure.
And you could even argue they had the best year this year. I mean, I totally forgot about this shoe because it released during All-Star Weekend. So definitely when I saw it, on the complex list, I already had to go change my list because I'm like, I can't believe I forgot about that shoe.
Yeah, I mean, I like that shoe a lot, and that's based off of the design of the shoe is based off of like a heart, right? That's what it was, and then the laces with the blue laces are
I've
for the
actually
veins.
also heard too, it's kind of like based off like Chicago in general, like just the architecture or something like that.
Yeah, I've heard different stories.
Yeah, I know. There's so many different ones that it's kind of hard to understand. But
Yeah,
overall,
my
it's a good
favorite
shoe.
New Balance though this year was definitely the Sailor
Oh,
Ben
yeah.
Berries. Just because that one it hits like home though too, because it's based off the Grand Canyon. Yeah, and
Oh, those ones, yeah.
yeah,
Those
and it
ones.
has like the green laces, and like the box has the Grand Canyon on it. Then it has like the blue laces too, like for the those. I don't know if I had to pick between the Joe Fresh. Me personally, I would choose
Right.
the Ben Berries.
Yeah.
Fresh Goods.
So
Fresh
much
Goods are
sense.
cool.
Well, it's nice to see New Balance do some stuff that isn't like dependent upon running vibe or
Yeah.
like being able to branch out. And even the Bull David collabs, I think I like the Bull
Oh
David
yeah,
collabs.
I like all of them.
You know, it's super cool to see them branch out and lay some foundations for some future work. And so New Balance definitely you could say is the manufacturer of the year. You could throw it out there.
Oh, yeah.
You know, they've pushed Nike in different ways in their own little small releases here and there, and their collaborations have been like very specific and well chosen, and they've been done very, very tasteful.
Oh,
Yeah, and they even had a collab with Shoe Palace too.
Oh,
yeah.
Which is crazy.
yeah, I totally forgot about that
Was
one.
it the
picked
shark
those- Yeah, I
or-
picked those up.
The shark, that was dope too.
Oh, yeah.
Little hang tag shark came with like orange laces. It was supposed to be. I forgot what it was based off. I think it was a school in Miami
Mhm.
with those colors, like a high school, I think. That's why
Okay.
it was based off of it. So, and that was a limited release too. That those were gone online. So, New Balance definitely stepped up this year a lot.
The expectations high for next year.
Oh,
For sure. I'm excited to see what they got to break next year.
Oh yeah.
You guys aren't messing with those Kawhi basketball shoes though?
The Jolly Ranchers, the ones that are sitting at Foot Locker right now.
You know,
Full-size
it's
running.
like
They didn't wear a basketball game though, but
his Omni series that he was doing, like I actually like those, but you know, it's like his signature, like he needs to step it up for the second one. But I mean, of course, he's a simple guy, so I don't expect much from him.
I do like on the Jolly Ranchers though, all the characters
Oh yeah.
all have his face.
I want that
straight face.
327 though. Like that's the only Jolly Rancher pack I want.
I want the Kawhi Raptors pack,
Oh, that too.
that
was
championship
fun.
pack.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are.
Moving on to number 4. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all, it kind of pained me that this one, but I get it. And this was even my favorite one out of these two, the Union Jordan 4 off Noir.
Oh no.
I already said what I needed to say about this shoe in another video, so that's all y'all.
Off Noir is that's the best one, better than the Guava.
Yeah.
Man, that's I don't know. To me, that's terrible. I hate the black ones, but it's weird though because I hate the black ones, but I love the Guava ones.
I like the black pair. I like the black pair. That's for me. I like shoes I can just throw on. I didn't even think about it.
you don't
Just
worry about it.
throw them on. You know, like me wearing the Guavas, it would just.
I like
it's
a
only-
challenge.
You're worried that someone's gonna scuff them or step
Yeah.
on them.
I like a challenge though when I
People
come
are
on
touching them, they're gonna get dirty or whatever. But I don't know. I like the off North pack. I like that one for sure.
You know what's
It's
crazy
definitely-
about all of it though, man, is that I don't think people kept the same energy on those, right? Like, in the beginning, like people saw those and it was like unanimous. People hated them, right? Like it was
Comments, people were talking trash about
like everyone and people in his room, they know who they are. Like
We were
they're saying,
it.
and I was skeptical too. Don't get me wrong. Like I'm not like saying I was on board in the beginning. I was kind of disappointed in the beginning.
Kind
I
of had
thought
to
they
grow a
could.
little bit.
Well, remember like the other pairs, those other samples? I thought the other sample pairs that they did release
Oh,
was
yeah.
super dope. And I'm like, you guys picked the 2 weakest out of all those sample
Oh, I
colorways to
agree
release.
100%.
But if I was
Drop
gonna
the
pick,
ball.
I definitely wanted the Guava pair. I tried to get that on Union LA, struck out, but I did get the Noir for retail, so I can't complain. I'm very happy to get a Union for retail. Like I'm okay with it.
It's a win.
It's a clunky shoe though. Like I'll be honest with you, I wore it like one time, and it feels very bulky. You know, whereas like say the Fire Red or even the Cause, it's not as heavy. So, but I see that it's one of those shoes in time that people will like, man, 3-4 years down the line, people are gonna say it's one of the best Jordan 4s of all time.
Yeah, but they do fit clunky though too. Because I actually bought his pair that he won from him. So that is just, I mean, I think it's because of the quality is really good on those, honestly. Like the mesh on it is like a...
That's something I can say about it. Like the quality was cool, but I actually totally agree with you, Charles. Like most of the concept ones were way better. But, you know, it is what it is, taste or wrong. I mean, like I said what I need to say.
I would say though, one thing that's pretty cool about that particular model that came out is you can customize it. I've seen many people cut out the the wings, cut the tongue, put the stitching somewhere else. They've actually painted the midsole, some areas black. So it's a pretty. You just gotta throw the yellow laces in them. In my opinion, makes them pop, stand out. So it's a fire shoe.
And the tongue, right? You can extend the tongue. And I think that makes the shoe look better. I haven't done that with mine, but
because not every pair is gonna be different. You know?
Oh, I keep in mind. I'm keeping on full thing. I like the full. I like the different, man.
We have one, Sacai Vapor Waffles.
Yes, sir.
So I love the shoe. I mean, even when we saw it last year, like towards the end of the year, I already knew like I had to get a pair. And I mean, I swear by Sacai. Like I think it's one of Nike's best collabs that they do. And overall, just the shoe fits comfortable. I mean, the worst I could say is, like I said in my review video, me being 5'7", it almost looks awkward just from my point of view. But, you know, if you can really get past that, like, it's a fire shoe. What do you think?
I like funky shoes, so when I first saw it, remember, I think I messaged you and I was like, these are amazing. And I was like, you know, I was on board with the ones last year, but I don't know, something wasn't really hitting all the way for me for it. I don't know, something was a little bit awkward. This kind of looked like a Nike, like Triple S to me.
I was thinking the same thing.
And I just fell up, and it's like, the bottom's chunky, but it's like, it's a lightweight shoe on top.
Right.
And then, I love where it has the double or triple sole now, double laces, double swoosh, double tongue. Like, it's just funky in a weird way. It looks like somebody, like, sketched it on a piece of paper and just threw it on somebody's
well,
feet.
very Japanese.
Yeah. So I love it.
It's very ninja, like, ninja type vibes.
They're dope. I like them a lot.
My challenge though is like you said though, like I think I've not been a big fan. I'm not a big fan of designer in the Balenciaga Triple S's. I've never been a fan of them. I know people bring them in to sell, and I'm like, nah, that's not us, bro. You can go to one of these other stores, they'll cash out on them. So I mean that was mine because I always look at it like, will these shoes stand the test of time? Will we still like this shoe in 5 years? Will we like it in 6 years? So I would throw that to you guys. Will you know, like when your parents bring out those bell bottoms from 1977, you're like, man, what was I wearing? That was crazy. Had the afro, the bell bottoms, and like, is this shoe gonna be that same vibe in 5-6 years? Like, oh man. Because like, you can throw in a Jordan 1 and it's timeless. Like, you could throw it on in 100 years and it's still gonna be dope, right?
Right.
But is that Sacai gonna still have that same effect in 5, 6, 7 years where you look back like, will you wear it in 6, 7 years? So that's how I would just throw out there just for perspective.
That's facts. And I mean, it's understandable to think like that, especially with a shoe that looks like this. Number 2, it is no other than the Off-White Jordan 4 Sail.
As it should be.
Yeah, I mean, I know everybody has their own opinion on it. Personally, I like it just because it's a women's exclusive, and for one, almost every female I've seen with it on has always had a fire fit. Like, I have not seen one bad fit with that shoe. I kind of hope they release a men's, but I don't really expect it, but it is what it is. I hope I can get it since I am a 12.5 in women's. So we'll see.
I didn't care for. Oh, go ahead. I didn't care for the shoe at all. Like, I don't know why. I don't really know why. And I knew the hype because like I remember when they first released pictures and like it was like a prototype on the table, remember? And I was like, okay, those are pretty smooth with the clear back tab on it. I don't know. Over time, like I just like to me it reminds me of my mushrooms I have. I know the mushrooms are. What? I don't know what he said. The mushrooms are like dark, so I don't know. I don't know. I like those. I like that it's for women, so that's dope. But they just remind me of the Sale 5s, and they remind me of the Walls.
Hinderstein.
Oh yeah, Hinderstein. Yeah, that's what reminded me of those too. So I just feel like there's a lot of other shoes that remind me of that shoe. So I'm not really too worried about that one. But I can understand because the hype was high for those.
Yeah,
Like people were going after those. So.
Right.
I give it to me personally. I love that shoe. When I saw the table full of samples, we had the red 4 off-white ones on there, and that one with the white laces in them. That was catching my eye first of all. When he did the 5, that was obviously pretty crazy because nobody was really paying attention to the 5s or 4s, and now it's like a lot of like females they want to get into the 4s, and that was a shoe that was overlooked because it was too bulky or it wasn't like streamlined like how like a Van was, or But in my opinion, I like the shoe with, especially with the different laces in them, the green, just the way that he kind of just changed the 4 up. I mean, it's my opinion.
I like the 5 more than the 4.
Oh yeah, for sure. Well, we gonna get to that.
Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, I compare it to the Hinderstein, man, and like seeing the Hinderstein like in person years ago. I remember I was in Chicago and was in St. Alfred, and one of the employees was wearing a Hinderstein, and it was like dope. It was like $1,100 like mock Jordan, with premium leather and crazy construction from Japan, right? And then so like when I saw the sample, the prototype, I mean, low-key, in my personal opinion, that probably is the most beautiful off-white shoe. The 4, period. It probably may be the most beautiful shoe that's come out all year.
Yeah.
And maybe the most beautiful, just pure shoe. But you can't wear it. Like, that's my size.
You gotta be careful with those.
And my size, that's a 14.5 W, which they didn't release. So we got a super rare sample. That's why those are going for such high prices, because I think what they released on sneakers was a 14W, which is a 12.5 mins, which is what was out and you could get. So I love it, but I just know I can't wear it. It's very, very hard to wear, but it's a beautiful shoe. I don't know if I'd have it that high. I don't think it did enough as a shoe. Like, I would put it top 5 for sure, but I think as a shoe, I don't know if it did enough and was creative enough in Virgil's, look at what he's done in the past and what he's done with shoes. I don't know if it did enough to distinguish itself, because basically it's just like a Sale colorway. It wasn't like, the Off-White 5 has the little see-through holes and, the yellow midsole, so there's more to it, but I can't argue it's definitely top 5.
Right.
I feel like Jordan Brand could have just released some all sale 5.
Oh yeah.
People would have hit it up.
Oh yeah, and we don't know, like Devontae said, are they gonna drop this in men's sizing? They said it was, but like I don't know if that's gonna happen now.
Different variation.
I think the bread colorway is gonna maybe be for men. That's what they're gonna come
I could see that. I mean, overall, I like both, so I mean, it's like if I can get my hands on one, I mean, that'll be my first off-white shoe. So
I feel like he just needs to switch it up.
yeah.
I don't know. I feel like that took a step back from what the 5 steps it took forward with the 5s.
Well, I mean, also, I think we have to keep this in mind too, which, one, talking about the 5, great shoe. I mean, I tried to get it when I was over in Japan. This problem is that time zone messed me up, so I was literally like 5 hours ahead of the drop. But it's a fire shoe. Overall, though, I have a hard time with almost anything off right now just because I keep comparing it to the 10 series.
Mm-hmm.
And without question, that is one of the best series of sneakers we've ever seen, if not the best. So it's honestly always hard for me to appreciate anything off right now just because the 10 series is so iconic and there's not a single bad shoe in that series. I mean, I think the most you could say is maybe the Hyperdome, but even then, those are still fire to me. So That's just my opinion. Overall, I like the 5. I think it definitely deserves it.
Yeah, that's like what I said. I feel like that was. I've talked about this before. Like I was tired of the same thing with Off-White with the shoes. I was getting tired of like the air with the quotation marks and the shoelaces with quotation marks. I feel like it was time for like a new step. So I feel like the 5 were just a good way to move forward. And then I felt like when they dropped the 4s, it was kind of a step back. But I love how they yellowed out the sole. The shoe looks like it's aged. It has like that waterproof material all over the top of it too. Yeah, it's way slimmer than a normal 5 without all the padding on the side of it too. So I just think that shoe is dope. So I'm not mad at number 1. So
It's the most wearable Off-White shoe ever, and it's the one that's going to be able to stand the test of time. Like you literally, like if you've had any of the 10, if you still have those, they look like crap now, right? Look at the Air Max 97s, like they have yellowed like crazy. You look at the Air Force Ones, right? Once you wear them, it's like game over.
It's looking like the 5 now, the silver ones.
Oh, yeah, that's what they look. And so it's like, I think maybe that's the motivation, like, hey, let's age these now.
Okay.
So you literally, I know you were wearing yours at the last show, but like you can wear them and not worry about it. That's one shoe I've wore. Like we have a U size 12 and a brand new size 12 up there, and you can barely tell the difference. And one shoe's been worn one of them's been worn 20 times, right? And you know, so it holds up well, which a lot of Off-White shoes don't, right?
Yeah.
Like if you have an Off-White Chicago Jordan 1, you don't want to wear that. Like it's not going to hold up well. That foam on the toe box, you know, the Off-White Jordan 1 UNCs have that little plastic cap on the toe box, so they're a little bit easier to wear. They'll hold up over time. But I like the innovation in the shoe. I like the holes. I like what they've done with it. I just love the shoe from the beginning. It's one of those shoes where you just know you're gonna get no matter what. Like I don't care what I have to pay, and I pay definitely over like StockX, which I don't ever do usually, but I just had to have it. Just a beautiful shoe. And I think what we talked about, like you mentioned, like Virgil's collection truly was a turning point in sneaker history because Ultra Boosts and you know Yeezys are running things. And to be able to truly change a whole culture, like that man single-handedly did that. So he's our tinker, man. I'll say that right now. Virgil's our tinker, and he's a black man. Much love and respect for that. Can never not have enough Off-White, man. I look at it like that. That's a brother putting out some dope stuff, running Louis Vuitton. I'm very proud to wear his shoes.
Yeah, my opinion, that was definitely like, once I saw the leak images, I was kind of trying to see what we had going on here, and with the holes, a lot of people in the comments, you know, they were like, yo, this is trash. Are you kidding me? Like, ruin the Jordan 5. To keep that same energy, now you're gonna have to pay resale for this shoe.
Oh yeah.
You know, you didn't like it in the first place. I mean, I tried to get this off of Sneakers app. Struck out like every time in history I tried. So I had to move a couple shoes out of my rotation to be able to move these ones in. But definitely, like, I like the idea of it, is just wear it. Because when you look at the original pair, that shoe, that was one of my first Jordans that I bought with my own money, the metallic 5s. So, I mean, I love that shoe. That shoe has a special place in my heart. So if you're able to take that, you know, totally change the shoe around, you don't have to worry about wearing it. That black shoe, it does get real dusty. The yellowing doesn't turn as good as that does. It just looks better overall.
Right.
And you can even do the customization on it, cut the holes out. I'll probably just leave mine in, you know.
I hope they do a grape Off-White one. That'd be
Yeah, I've seen the samples,
a
but
grape Off-White one would be
I
dope.
mean, he's got so many samples. Though.
Yeah,
he
probably already
can
got
probably go for like 5 to 10 years.
Or a
just
green
off
bean
samples.
one or something.
yeah, and I've seen people even skate in those too.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
it's a pretty
It's
versatile
it's
shoe.
a-
I like the idea behind it. It's just
Yeah.
do whatever. You
His
know.
old shoes seem like art, right? And
Yeah,
they're hard
exactly.
to wear because they're art. They're that beautiful. Like, and, you know, I know you're supposed to wear your shoes, so
Right.
don't flame me for that. But they're art and they don't hold up well.
Yeah.
And it's almost like, man, it's just too beautiful to wear. So that shoe is like functional and beautiful at the same
Exactly.
time. It's the most functional, the most accessible Off-White shoe ever, and that's why it's the best shoe.
People are playing basketball, skateboarding.
Oh, yeah.
You know.
Sure you know what you're doing.
Let me show you something. I'm gonna get out of here, get some fresh air.
You might
to wait a long time.
Oh yes, I remember that.
Here's what we're gonna do. 3 honorable mentions, straight to the point. To start off with mine, I'd probably say, without a doubt, my top one is the New Balance 327, the Concepts collab. Fire new model, like we talked about, New Balance stepped up. Number 2 would probably have to be the Jordan 1 Biohack. I think it's the most creative Jordan 1 that we've seen in quite some time. And also, I'm glad that they kind of paid homage to the undefeated dunk with it, so I really like it. And then number 3, I actually have to give it to the Sean Witherspoon ACID. I mean, at first I kind of hated the shoe, but it kind of grew on me. I don't know if I'd ever get it for personal, but overall it's a dope shoe.
Mine aren't in order. It's just gonna be my favorite, but definitely number 1 is Strange Love for me, just for nostalgic reasons. Well, because of what I had to go through to get that shoe, so that's like a whole story in itself. But that shoe is just, I feel like that shoe's just executed so well. I feel like that's a shoe that's gonna hold up over time too. It's gonna probably be known as one of the best dunks of all time, in my opinion. I don't know, that's a hard one to say. I also thought that about Chunky Dunkies, but I hate those now. But Strange Loves, I feel like are gonna hold up over time and be one of those shoes where like, bro, I need Strange Loves, because working at a sneaker store too, I hear that every time because we have one there too. And like the amount of people that come in there, there's like, I need that. I can't believe I can get them when they're cheaper. So that's dope. And then probably I'll do Space Hippies, the whole Space Hippie pack. I just love the concept behind it with the recycled material, and it gave me Mars Yard vibes with the whole pack. So, and one, they're comfy, kind of remind me of Sakai's as well in some way, like the O2.
Interesting.
Yeah, and then probably for my third one, I'll probably do the LeBron 7 Media Day, just for what LeBron did this year, especially during the bubble. And doing it at the age that he's still doing, I feel like you have to give respect to some of his shoes, especially for a retro of his older shoes. And then you do it like so, it's a what the shoe, but it's still calm. It's not like different colors on each one. It's a great shoe.
I'm a Clipper fan, so I'm happy about that one.
That's what you call a hater.
Hey, look, I love LeBron, but never mind. Allery.
PG 13%.
Allery.
All right. So this is not in any type of order, but I definitely would say the Yeezy Basketball Quantum. My opinion, don't have that shoe, but it definitely looks like overall a great shoe. Something different. Adidas never really did the basketball thing with the Yeezy, so that's cool because it's functional, and then you can also style it up as well. And then another one as well, I would definitely have to say the Grateful Dead Dunks. All those colors are really great. And definitely, my last one probably had to be the New Balance 327. 327 for sure. Any colorway. The model overall is great.
They're very comfortable as well. Charles?
So how could we not throw some love to Kobe? So my honorable mention is any Kobe that's dropped this year. Like the Grinch is coming out in a couple of days, so that's always a special thing for me. I've always been a huge Kobe fan. I personally, the last Kobe I bought was the Bruce Lee Alternative, and I love that shoe. It's just so versatile. They did a great job with the Protros. They're comfortable. Like we have the OG Bruce Lee right there, and I wore those, and they're not comfortable. Like they are definitely like you wear them after an hour just casually, and your feet hurt. So the Protros definitely, they've done a good job. You can hoop in them, and I just wear them casually. So any Kobe in general, we'll just throw it out there is an honorable mention. I definitely love the Quantums. The Quantums I thought were a good direction for Adidas and Yeezy. I think Adidas needs to channel their energy into new silhouettes, and they need to abandon some of the old stuff, right? that's why I kind of respected what they're doing with the 380s with the aliens. I don't know if the new colorways with the aliens to me were last year, but super dope. And the 700 V3. So I thought even the foam runners, you could obviously throw the foam runner in there. Like
the slides too.
The slides. Like, so I think the direction that Adidas and Kanye are going in, I like to see it. Like, we need to kind of move past like the 350s and beating that to death. And I'll just throw this out there. I wouldn't mind another 750 coming out. I was always a big fan of that silhouette. I don't think they did enough of the 750s. Those are super fly. RIP to the old Kanye, if he ever comes back, man. But, he still has the, potential to release dope stuff. And honestly, to me, my last honorable mention is the Chunky. Like, I truly think, thinking in 10 years, that's the dunk maybe we're going to remember the most. Like, if we look back, I think obviously that'll be a top 10, 20 dunk of all time. If it already is. I put Strange Loves up there too, But I think Chunky, as far as the impact and the quality is not there, but just the actual shoe and what they're trying to accomplish with it, I just love it. I wish I could have got in my size. 13s are like super crazy expensive now. Remember last year was all 8s and 9.5s for like being flipped for all crazy. Now it's like 12 and 13s are like going high. Like those are going for like $2,000. Like if you see them, they drop like crazy resale. They're going for like what, almost 1,000 now. Like they've dropped so much in price. But 13s are still 2,000. They haven't dropped at all. So I want to get one. But I know, just like Dylan said, I've seen used pairs, they do not hold up well. Like we've talked about the Off-White 5, you can wear it, enjoy it, and not think about it. That shoe you wear, it's gonna look like trash afterwards.
Yeah.
And it's like you spent so much money on it. So yeah, it's just you can't wear it. It's like, again, it's almost like art, but I totally like the special box. That may be one of the coolest special boxes we've ever had in a while. So I think when this is all said and done, like I could have honestly been okay with that being number one this year. It was a toss up for me.
Cap this off,
Like, don't cap it. No cap it, right? No cap it.
No cap at all. I mean, like we talked about, to me, 2020 was one of the hardest years for this list I've had to do in quite a long time. 2019, definitely was a good year. I know Brian would disagree, but 2020 definitely stepped up, and it's like I'm very excited to see what happens in 2021. I mean, even though we're still probably going to have to deal with the virus and all that, kind of just limiting certain aspects of sneaker culture and drops and all that. But I expect to see some big things from New Balance and Nike, of course, and Adidas definitely needs to step up, because I'm sorry, they're trash now. There's not one Adidas that I truly like.
Other than Yeezy, yeah.
I don't even care for Yeezy anymore.
Neither do I, but the other model's pretty cool, the full and stuff.
Yeah, but overall though, I'm excited to see what 2021 has. But gents, I appreciate you guys doing this with me again, and definitely can't wait for 2021's list. And I promise I'll try not to cap on that one, because I already know I'm gonna get a lot of hate, especially for not putting the Dior 1. But let's just be real, that shoe is for rich people. So I don't even think this should be an honorable mention, because the general public can't even get that shoe. So it is what it is. But again, I appreciate you guys. Charles, as usual, I appreciate you letting us use the shop. And look forward to next year. And also appreciate you guys watching. Appreciate Brian being the substitute cameraman. And again, comment down below what your top 10 list is. I definitely want to cycle through them. Except for if you put Dior 1 on it. I'm not.
We've had enough of this nonsense.